when it comes to transporting yourself, your family or your colleagues in style, very few cars can match the Mercedes E-Class. But it's not only really good looking, it's also very practical too. For instance, the boot is absolutely massive. I mean, our camera bag is completely lost in there. It was rattling about like a pea in a whistle. I mean, you'd easily fit 5, 6, maybe even 7 sets of golf clubs in there. There's also a false floor where you can store your valuables in, or misplace your car keys. We'll be needing those in a bit, aren't we? The E-Class is a cracking car for rear passengers, and you can see why many posh chauffeur firms use them. I mean, there's absolutely loads of legroom. I can really stretch out. There's decent headroom too. And the back seats are slightly reclined, which means that you could quite easily, you know, fall asleep in the back here. Anyway, crack on. Being a Mercedes, this car feels like it's built from granite, and there's lots of nice little features to make your busy, stressful executive life a little bit easier. For instance, this car's got electric adjustment for the steering wheel. And I like the way they've combined the windscreen wipers, the lights and the indicators all on one easy to reach stalk. And you can control all the car's major onboard functions through this handy swivel wheel. I mean, it's all very intuitive. And I have to say, that's got to be the best radio tuner I've seen on any car. Obviously, being a Mercedes, the E-Class is a very relaxing car to drive. I mean, you're so well isolated from all the hubbub of the outside world. It's just so quiet in here that you waft along in your own cocoon of tranquility. It's very comfortable too, and I think this avant-garde model has the best suspension setup of the entire range because its electronic dampers provide the perfect balance between handling and comfort. Being rear-wheel drive means that the E-Class is pretty good fun to drive when the road gets twisty like this. That said, it's not as sharp still as a BMW 5 Series, and I don't think that it's as market feeling inside either. I mean, on the Beamer, you get leather as standard across the entire range. Now, if you come over here a sec, I'll show you a couple of things you might find a bit annoying. For instance, if you look here, you'll notice that the steering wheel is ever so slightly offset, which means that you can feel a tad twisted behind the wheel. And I don't like these foot-operated parking brakes. And finally, while I think the E-Class looks good, it's a little bit conservative when you compare it to the more daring Jaguar XF. That said, that's going to be half the appeal to some buyers, and at the end of the day, it is a very desirable car. So even while it does cost quite a bit to buy in the first place, it will hold its value well. And if you go for one of the diesel models, they're actually surprisingly cheap to run.